faster, faster, faster. It's like, no, that's not it. It's simply just better. So I actually want you to swing slower and focus on getting that front side to stay on and get that barrel head to win the race more and simply just get to that position. A lot of players, they want to pull the ball, but their body doesn't allow them. Not as in they don't have enough speed or they don't have enough, bad speed just in general. A lot of players think it's bad speed to pull the ball. It's definitely not that. It's more timing, it's more technique. So I had this college player. One of my college players came back home from school and he's like, man, I can't pull it. And I'm looking at it, it's like, he's trying to pull it, but he just keeps on swinging faster and faster, and it's like, that's not it. So what I showed him was, there's two different things. What I showed him was, when he loads, his bat gets vertical, and he loads down vertical, and he blocks himself off. He can never pull it. So just think about from this perspective, right? I love standing in this view, like that's the picture, right? He was loading, and he was tipping his bat, which is fine, but he's blocking himself off. Then most importantly, he'd swing from there, right? One of the best hitters ever, probably the best hitter ever, Barry Bonds, he would get to that position, but what would be his very next move, right? He toe taps and tips. His very next move is turn deep and flatten. Most importantly, when he flattens, it gets his front side to more open and give him space to turn, and he gets to that turn behind position, then he turns, right? It's very important. This player didn't do that. He tipped, right? He tipped, loaded this front shoulder down, and blocked himself off, and he could never pull the ball. He'd always just hit an oppo, or the most he could ever do is pull it. And so what I showed him was, okay, we need you to load more rotationally so you can swing more rotationally, so you can swing flatter. And what I showed him was, I want you to flatten out your bat in your handset, in his stance and his handset, so when he loaded and swung, his bat was in a more flat position. And when he loads, I want you to load your body in a more flat position. So instead of loading like this, right, the pitcher's this way, instead of loading like this, then naturally swing like that, try to load more this way so you can turn flatter, right? Think about the load you're gonna do on a high pitch, right? Load flat, then turn flat. Versus if the ball is high, he was loading like this, right? He can never, like the swing plane just wasn't matching up, especially to pull it. And when you pull it, you gotta be able to rotate better. And obviously get the barrel head there. But so for him, I want him to load more flat than his bat was flat. Then when he swung, he was in a much better position to turn and deliver it with less effort. Most importantly, less effort. That means the body is moving better, right? So load flatter and turn better so you can pull it. Okay. The next one is a lot of players when they try to pull it, but they always pull off of it. So this is a key thing. I want you to learn how to pull it without pulling off. And what that does is, when you pull it, don't try doing it with your front side. We need to make sure it's a turn, but staying on the ball, right? Some guys can turn and get open, blah, 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 but a lot of players, they hook things when they start doing that. So I want you to think turn on it and be flattered behind it, but I want you to try to feel like the front side stays on and the barrel wins the race more. Right? That's the feeling, right? So you turn, but the front side stays on more, and the barrel wins the race, rather than the front side wins the race. A lot of players, when they pull it, they think swing faster and turn harder. It's actually the opposite, okay? Now, when you pull it, now think about this. If I'm trying to bump the ball pull side, what angle does my bat have to be at, right? The barrel head has to be more out front, and I've got to get that angle, right? It's kind of common knowledge, everyone knows that. But when they pull it, they disregard that kind of angle, that literally just has to happen, right? To make that ball go that way. It's physics, right? So when you swing, when a lot of players swing and pull it, they go wham, right? And that front side comes off and it drags this. So they might have an inside pitch, but their bat's back there and it goes that way. They're like, man, I can't do it. Naturally, then when they start doing is faster, faster, faster. It's like, no, that's not it. It's simply just better. So I actually want you to swing slower and focus on getting that front side to stay on and get that barrel head to win the race more and simply just get to that position, right? Try to keep the front side on more. You can turn a little bit, but try to keep it on more and get that front side there and get the barrel head there. So now when you hit that ball, it's gonna go that way. We gotta get the barrel head there, right? Focus more on the barrel, focus on like what your setup looks like, focus on how you're gonna get there. It's not about speed, it's about timing and technique. If you can get both of those two, then we can add some speed while maintaining the timing and technique. That's the best of all three worlds, right? But timing and technique, it's not about speed. Naturally, everyone wants more speed, speed, speed. A lot of times it actually hurts the situation. So swing slower sometimes and figure out timing and figure out the technique of getting the ball there. That and just having really good spin. So that's how we figure out how to drive the ball and pull the ball without pulling off. Hope that helps and good luck. Go be a hitter.